just want to welcome you to this new monthly directors meeting and report, and just letting you know what's going on. First and foremost, early voting has started, and I just want to make certain that everybody come out to vote. There are polls where there are people standing wrapped around buildings, but there's also polls where there's nobody. So stay tuned to the news, and they'll let you know where you can go if you don't want to, if you don't have the time to stand in line for a long period of time. But please don't let the long lines keep you from voting. Exercise your right and vote. Second of all, I want to congratulate 3 of our PSCs that are getting converted on October 24th, which is next Saturday. And then following that, we have 4 more PSCs that will be converted on November 20th. So we're moving in the right direction. This has nothing to do with the big package that was submitted for more conversions, and that's a big package that's coming up. And as soon as I get word on and the exact amount for those, I'll be more than happy to reveal that to the body. We just got a release video from Mr. DeJoy. I can't remember his first name, but Mr. DeJoy, he's the Postmaster General. And there's some very good, interesting subject matters that he presented that we can use as union stewards when we go finalizing our grievances. Check with your directors, and they're going to have that information, and we're going to be circulating it on our South Vision and our website. But there's some very good slides that already pulled out, because he himself is saying that we need to do the overtime. He himself saying that if you see anybody delaying mail, and it didn't matter whether it was a supervisor, it was a craft employee, whoever, you needed to report it. Now that kind of muffles their mentality thinking, because at first, when I was what they call the whistleblower and notified the congressional office of Joaquin Castro when they did the tour, I notified them that they weren't really honest with him and showed that the mail was being delayed. Then a notice came out to the plant, and I'm not sure if it went out to the stations and AOs, but at the plant, they gave everybody a gag order not to say anything. So now we're getting it from the top of the food chain, and DeJoy is saying, if you see it, report it. So that's a good item to have in your packets for your grievances in case they want to write up one yourself or a member. You say, well, here, I got this statement here from Mr. DeJoy. Okay. Fourth, vacation polling starts November 8th. That is something that has always been in the local negotiation, the Alamo U. It's always been in our Alamo U. It's just every year, it's like, I can only speak for the plant, but every year they get a brain fart and they have no idea when it starts, and they come up with different days. And it's important that that the member should know they can start talking to their spouses or their significant others to decide what days they want to take, okay? Okay, we had a recent arbitration award that just came out for discipline. That's another very strong one. Although the language did not specify the clerk craft, maintenance craft, or NBS craft, the hammering part there was the fact that they said that no MHA who was a non-career employee could have their discipline migrate over to their new record as full-time regulars. So that's a good thing. So we have been saying all along that when you cross over that line from a non-career to a career, your discipline should fall off. And there are 2 schools of thoughts over there, especially at the district. So you know how they are, they interpret things differently. So make certain to use that arbitration award. Alamo U negotiations, as Chris had mentioned, they went the way of the dodo bird, so it didn't go well. It went well from our standpoint, because we made our stands, and they drew the line in the stand, and we stood there. Unfortunately, they didn't want to abide by the rules that they set up, and they were making their bully stand. So just for the record, Eric Rodriguez represented the spokesperson for the United States Postal Service, and he really shined with his piss poor attitude. Well, you know, there's something you can't take away from somebody. Like in the past, they had Marcel Polanco, who was very diplomatic and could sit there and listen. My personal opinion, they should have had Eddie Jaramillo, who has a better temperament to at least listen. Mr. Rodriguez is just letting everybody know the type of manager he is, and I use manager for a lack of a better word. I want to touch on basis of military pay. When you have your orders and go out as a full-time regular or a career employee, that is, the Postal Service is responsible to paying the time you are out. We just recently had a case where a PSC was out for, I believe, 2 weeks, came back, filled out a 3970 and submitted, and he was denied the pay. Unfortunately, the Employee Labor Manual and the Postal Service does not recognize and pay non-career employees for their military duty. I'm of the opinion that if you're on military, they should get paid, but I didn't write the rules, okay? So if you get an instance where an employee gets upset, show them in the mail what we can do, the governing body of APW, for that person. And then if they want to take it higher, then they can contact their congressman and see what their congressman can do for them. But our hands are tied. Once again, the holidays are coming. We're going to have PSCs running the show. That's what management does every year. What does that mean? That means they may be making them 204Bs, they may be making them higher levels. They do that every year. They go to the Christmas Annex. I'm already hearing whispers of who they want to take to the Christmas Annex. And they're taking PSCs, which is fine. But they're also taking regulars, and guess what? That regular's not gonna be running the show. It's gonna be that PSC. And that's wrong, because the contract says, well, there is a full-time regular available, then that regular will do it. Unfortunately, we have a lot of regulars that don't want to do it. But that doesn't give management the right to say, okay, well, the regulars don't want to do it, I'm going to give it to the PSC because they're an eager beaver and they want to do it. It still doesn't work that way. They need to nominate and they need to appoint it, the supervisors, to one of the regulars, okay? So we're going through a lot of changes still at the plant where the mail volume is starting to pick up. We're starting to see a lot of, and this is just early October, mid-October, and we're already seeing where when I come in on tour 2 at 7:30, we're still standing around waiting for machines. And that's not because maintenance is taking their time. Maintenance is telling me that they're upset because they're having to wait for the machine to be handed over to them from the previous tour, and there was just a delay. So and one maintenance operator told me the domino effect is going to get worse because when the holidays come, we're going to get more volume, and consequently, we're going to be delaying the mail or us being on the machines to operate. And that's all because they took out many machines, which they should have, in my opinion, they should have tarped. But of course, the geniuses that we have that run our plant decided it was best to cannibalize these machines and create a junkyard, which is an unsafe environment of the plant. They should have done a better job. Another thing I want to address about safety in the parking lot, I addressed a 1767 regarding those OTRs parked out there. There must be at least 50 or 60 of them every single day, and it's just getting worse. Ms. Kim Calderon ordered a truck down there, and they loaded up all the OTRs, and they cleaned them out. The next day I walked there because we were heading to a meeting at the district, and they were replicated again with more OTRs. So it just seems that they don't have a place where they're going to be able to put their equipment. So if you have any safety concerns, regardless of what it is, don't hesitate to notify your steward. There are 1767s at the plant. Right when you walk in the door through the break room on the right-hand side, there's a little red holdout. There you can just grab one, fill it out. If you're not sure how to fill it out, the instructions are in the back, or better off, you see me at the plant, I'm over there all the time. Flag me down, flag down a steward, any steward. It could be any craft, they can tell you, because we're very strong proponents of safety here. So we want to make certain that we change the culture at the plant to make safety, because the management's not going to do it, we need to do it. Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. And one last thing, I just want to recognize Ruben Martinez. Y'all know him better as Cool. And the body here at San Antonio Alamo Air Local recognized him to get this nice cowboy canopy where he's going to be able to spend a lot of time outside instead of mowing the lawn and doing other stuff. He's going to be sitting out there with his nice cold beers. So we can stop by and visit Ruben, and I just want to personally thank him for all the time he did.
Thank you, man.
And say that just because he's retired doesn't mean he's gone. He's always available and he's there. So with that, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much for the.
Well, thank you, Carlos, we appreciate it.
Would you like to say something, Ruben?
Yeah, let me say something there, Nick. Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you, my president, Ruben, Mr. Bucky over there, and Robert Pro. I know you guys had something to do with this gift, and I really appreciate it. Again, it's nice working with you guys. I mean, you know, I've always had a sense of camaraderie with you guys, and you're like brothers to me, you know, even though it's sometimes the union interacts or interchanges and stuff like that. The stewards come and go and stuff like that, but you still build a relationship, and I hope in my heart that I've touched some hearts here and there to continue being in the movement of unionism, you know, because we need it bad, and especially here in the state of Texas, you know, we need it, and we need it for not just for us today, but for our future generations, because there will be future postal employees, and we need to still keep fighting and setting up that foundation for them to have a very solid union. With that said, I like I said, I really appreciate it. I met a lot of new and a lot of old friends that I had and stuff like that, and I really appreciated that you guys, just by this token itself, means a lot to me. Again, may I say thank you, and like I say, I'll still be around, like Carlos says, if they'll have me, and I will. So if you guys need anything, you know who to contact me. I'm here at the office. Just come by, and if you just want to come by and just shoot the breeze a little bit, you're welcome at that too. Thank you very much.